Solid.
The time is 4 o'clock. Good afternoon and welcome to the news from around the world on Sea Solid Radio. I am Joy Akin Olamibuki. First, the major headlines. Federal government urges UAE to remove discriminatory travel protocols. UN mission in Mali attacked. Belarus bans most citizens from going abroad. And on the ever exciting world of sports, Spain's Garcia returns to Barca from Man City. Moving on to the news in details. The Presidential Steering Committee (PSC) on COVID-19 has urged the United Arab Emirates to remove the discriminatory travel protocols against Nigerians. The PSC chairman and secretary to the government of the Federation, Mr. Bas Mustafa, made the call in Abuja. The federal government is currently in talks with its UAE counterpart on the possibility of resuming reciprocal international flights. The PSC asked the United Arab Emirates to remove the country's specific and discriminatory practices against Nigeria. According to a statement, it said discussions are however ongoing and can assure Nigerians that the outcome will be in the interest of the country. The Nigerian Senate has given its Committee on Foreign and Local Debt 15 days within which to process President Muhammadu Buhari's request for a fresh 2.343 trillion naira for approval. Senate President Ahmad Lawan gave the directive at the commencement of Tuesday's plenary session shortly after the Senate's majority leader, Yahya Abdullahi, drew the attention of the Senate to the pending request. The Senator Clifford Ardia led Committee on Foreign and Local Debt had approved a total of $28 billion so far. The current request would take the total loan approved to $34.683 billion. Buhari had asked the Senate to approve 2.3 trillion naira external borrowing. Buhari said the loan was to finance the 2021 budget deficit of 5.6 trillion naira. The president indicated that the loan would enable the federal government to fund critical infrastructural projects in health, education, among others. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, has asked the Senate to confirm the appointment of Major General Farouk Yahya as the Chief of Army Staff. Buhari, in a letter to the President of the Senate, asked the federal lawmakers to make his request expeditiously. The Senate today has observed a minute silence in honor of former political advisor to President Goodluck Jonathan, late Ahmad Gulak. This happened as the upper chamber condemned the gruesome murder of Gulak in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on his way to the Sambakwe airport on Sunday morning. The resolution of the upper chamber followed a point of order moved by the Deputy Senate President, Senator Ovie Omo Agege, at plenary. However, Senate also resolved to mandate the Senate ad hoc committee on the review of the 1999 Constitution to pay a condolence visit to the family of the deceased. You are still listening to the news from around the world on T Solid Radio. Still to come is the foreign and sport news. Do remember that you can download our app T Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can as well follow us on our various social media platforms on our T Solid Radio TV. Moving on to the foreign scene, a camp of the United Nations Integrated Stabilization Mission for Mali, MINUSMA, came under attack today. The Special Representative of United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres and head of MINUSA, Hal Gashim-Wayne, made this known. Hal Gashim-Wayne wrote on Twitter that he applauded the bravery and commitment of the Chadian troops deployed in the area, which successfully repelled their attack. MINUSMA said in a Twitter post that according to a preliminary assessment, the attack did not result in any injuries or damages. Earlier, the military of Mali arrested interim President Bahan Doin and Prime Minister Mokto Quain and transported them to the Kati base near the capital of Bamako. Mali's newly appointed interim president, Colonel Assimi Goïta, said that he had dismissed the president and prime minister for violating an transitional character. Belarus has temporarily banned most of its citizens from leaving, including many foreign residency permit holders. There are some expectations, such as for Belarusian civil servants on official trips and state transport staff. The State Border Committee's tightening of the rules follows international outrage over Belarus' recent diversion of a Ryanair flight and arrest of a top descendant and his girlfriend on board. President Alexander Lukashenko harsh crackdown on opponents since his debuted August 9th election. Victory has sent many into exile or to jail. Belarus was gripped by a huge anti-Lukashenko demonstration last year after the election, broken out brutally by the police. Malaysia imposed a third nationwide lockdown today to battle a worsening coronavirus outbreak, as countries across Southeast Asia struggled with resurgence in cases driven by infectious variants. Meanwhile, much of the region escaped the pandemic first wave last year, relatively unscathed by rapidly closing borders and introducing curbs. But countries from Thailand to Vietnam are being harmed by fresh surges, with efforts to quell outbreaks hampered by slow vaccine rollouts and populations weary of restrictions. Malaysia is among the worst hit of almost 2,800 deaths from COVID-19 recorded in the country of 32 million since the start of the pandemic. Over 40% were in May alone. More than 517,000 infections have been reported, with a string of new daily records last week. Vietnam was praised for keeping infections low last year, but its cases have more than doubled in the past month, prompting officials to suspend foreign arrivals at some airports and implement social distancing in Ho Chi Minh City. And finally, on the foreign scene, two prominent Thai pro-democracy protest leaders were granted bail today, weeks after contracting coronavirus in the kingdom's overcrowded prison system. Panupong Mike Jadnok, activist and human rights lawyer, and Onumpa are both facing multiple charges under royal defamation laws. Thai lawyers for human rights said Thai criminal court today granted them bail. They had to post a $6,500 bail bond each and are banned from leaving Thailand or becoming involved with further activities that defame the monarchy. They are expected to be released from Thammasat University Hospital later today. Moving on to the ever exciting world of sport, the Catalan club said today that Manchester City's Spain centre-back Eric Garcia will join Barcelona on a 5-year deal next month. Garcia, who is 20-year-old, has been included in his country's squad for the upcoming Euro 2020, will leave the Premier League champions when his deal ends on July 1st. The La Liga side said in a statement that the player will sign a contract until the end of the 2025-2026 season, and his buyout clause is set at 400 million euros. Garcia follows Sergio Aguero after the Argentina forward left City for Barca on Monday. According to the report, he came through the academy at Camp Nou before joining City's youth set up in 2017. And finally, on the news from around the world, the Bundesliga giants said today, after 30 years in charge of Bayern Munich, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge will step down as chairman at the end of the month and be replaced by former Germany captain Oliver Kahn. Karl-Heinz had been due to see out his contract, which expires at the end of 2021, but is leaving 6 months early to meet the end of the financial year on June 30th. Karl-Heinz's departure will herald a new era at Bayern for the start of a new season, with Julian Nagelsmann also replacing Hansi Flick as coach for the campaign. However, with Karl-Heinz on board, Bayern won the Bundesliga 19 times and lifted the Champions League trophy in 2001, 2013, and 2020. With that, we've come to the end of the news, a recap of the major headlines. Federal government urges UAE to remove discriminatory travel protocols. United Nations mission in Mali attacked. Belarus bans most citizens from going abroad. And on the ever exciting world of sport, I read Spain's Garcia returns to Barca from Man City. Ensure to go by all precautionary measures to stay safe from COVID-19 as recommended by the World Health Organization and the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Do remember to download our app T-Solid on Play Store or log on to www.tsolid.tv. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on our T-Solid Radio TV. The news was compiled by Blessing Bamishaye. I am Joy Akinolami Gokie. Good afternoon and many thanks for listening.